Shake off the rust here. What's going on? So you just got a round of golfing or what?
Yeah, fresh off the course. Dude, unreal. Teed off at 3. Got 18 holes in, finished at like 6:15. It's like getting dark then here now. And then obviously I'm looking forward to when the clocks go back. Another hour. It gives us another hour of golf and stuff. I know you guys are battling the weather. My parents have been sending me videos and stuff of back home. It looks treacherous, but no, it was 26 degrees and sunny here today, dude. I was done at the rink by 1, came home, had a rest, had lunch, chilled, and then went golfing. Like, pretty nice.
Dude, I'm so jealous of your life, man. It's especially I was like trudging through like when the snow melts and it's that slushy garbage, like it's just horrible.
Oh, yeah, it's the
But
worst.
oh my God, like my socks are wet. Like it was just actually this morning. So I went into the office today and I can't remember what happened. So I just got a new car. Um and I don't have snow tires on it. I'm gonna get them next year. It's like it's already March basically, so I'm like not gonna bother getting them now. I just got the car like 2 weeks ago, and
Right.
we can get into the car later. But so I'm borrowing my since it's been snowing like really heavy. Like I'm borrowing my parents' car because it has snow tires on it.
Yeah.
So I've just been using that, and then I like left something in my car. Like I drove to the subway like to get to work, and then I like forgot something. I had to go back. I'm I switched cars or whatever it was. Then I'm walking from my parking spot to the subway. It's snowing like crazy this morning. I'm walking through the slush. I get soaked. My bag is soaked. Like I get on the subway, like the subway's not working. I'm having one of those mornings like this and that. And then I get to the office this morning. I pour myself a coffee like a little too high. I'm walking it back, spill all over myself. It's like 8:15 in the
Oh,
morning. I just spilled coffee on myself. I'm soaking wet. Um like I'm like, this is
dude.
gonna be a day, man. Like what is going and then I like other stuff even happened. I can't remember, but I turned it around somehow. I had a good day in the end.
Hey, attaboy. It's all about how it finishes, not how it starts. But like, what's dress code at work? Like, what is Nobes and the Stu have you wearing?
Ask Nobes what the dress code is because I don't know if he follows the same dress code that I do, but I'm wearing dress shirt, dress pants every day. He's wearing whatever he wants. I've seen him in a hoodie. Um no, but he keeps it classy, honestly, but I don't know, maybe the rules are a little looser the higher up the ladder you go.
Yeah, it's that way in the chain of life. But yeah, no, he definitely seems like a guy. But he always looks good. I'll give him a credit. Like,
No, he honestly he looks good. I like to chirp him, but he's always got good style. Like he's got good fits. I actually upped the style a little bit lately. I started
are you
I don't want
shopping?
to give it a free ad, so maybe I'll bleep this out, but I got a bunch of shirts.
Hey,
Um
I get so we can talk about it.
I used the NHLPA and the PHPA discount.
You doubled down?
Yeah, you can use both.
Shut up. How?
Yeah.
How much? 30% off total?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I think one's 20 and one's 15, so 35%
You order online or you go?
online.
Okay, I'm gonna be doing that right after we finish this episode, dude. The shirts, just I throw them right in the wash, air dry them, bang, done. They're huge on the road, like they don't wrinkle and stuff. And now we are giving them a full ad,
Well,
but
so the reason I said I didn't want to give him an ad, I'm literally gonna bleep out the name because I emailed them asking if they wanted a sponsor. I didn't get a response.
I could, I should actually reach out and see if this unknown product wants to be a sponsor going forward.
Yeah. Honestly, and this is what I said in my email. I was like, I genuinely love the product, and we're sitting here talking about how great it is. Like, we should send them this clip. Um,
And you should actually get on that. But going back to the snow and stuff, dude. So we went to Colorado like 2 weeks ago, as you know. Um, and this was the first time I saw snow this year. Um, and it was insane, dude. Like I was calling home and like I was like super excited. I'm like, yeah, like finally I'm gonna get back to some snow. Like I'm kind of like I really miss it and stuff. And like I go to Colorado, I land, I get off the plane and like we get outside and I'm like, there's no way I'm doing this ever again. Like I'm not asking for snow ever again. I get out there, dude. I'm so underpacked for the weather. I didn't bring my pea coat. I'm freezing my ass off. I'm trying to get to the bus. There's slush everywhere. I'm slipping on sidewalks. It's a full out disaster just trying to get around. Like I've completely forgotten how to live in the snow. It's a gong show.
you're just settled into that California life, man. It's
Oh,
changed you.
it's unbelievable. And we just got back from Palm Springs. You're literally in a bubble there. There's not even wind. It's just 80 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny every day in a golf paradise.
Honestly, it's crazy. Like some of the different places. Your division in the A is sick, by the way. Like some of the cities are nasty. I'll intro us here. We're already a couple minutes in now, but this is episode 103 of the Showbound podcast. If you don't know, I'm your host Michael Raskin. We got Ethan Cardwell, who since the last episode is now has played in the NHL. So that is definitely a topic we will be getting into. Can't skip over that one. So that's kind of crazy, but we'll get in. I don't know. We'll get into that. We got lots to catch up on. I guess back to my new car. I got it's a 2025 Volkswagen Taos. I think I sent you a picture, right?
Nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
Blacked
Like
out.
all black rims. It looks good. I just picked it up like 2, 3 weeks ago now. So, and then yeah, like I said, I've barely been driving it because it's been pounding snow. Like there was buses like got canceled in Toronto today because like the roads were too icy for them to like get up hills and stuff. I actually saw a bus crash into a car today. I took a picture of it.
These are the things I don't miss, dude. It's like I I get like, dude, oh, I'm so, like I was taking it for granted for a bit, and then the last couple of days I've like started to be like, holy shit, like this is insane. I've been having coffee on my balcony before I go to the rink every day. It's so dialed.
Well, because you're in a condo now or apartment now, right?
Yeah, I'm in an apartment this year. Actually, might as well kind of get into that. I'm living with JT.
Yeah.
Uh, so you probably know that managing our money.
Yeah.
That we're saving some nice cheese on the apartment this year, but
And that's Jack Thompson for the listeners who don't know.
yeah, also playing for the San Jose Sharks right now. So not home right now. So missing him.
So we're actually meeting with Jack JT on Monday. I know Chris is gonna go get breakfast with him at the hotel. I'm trying to weasel my way into that meeting too. So
Get a
um,
breakfast going, eh? On the company card.
yeah, I don't know. I keep bugging Chris whenever anyone's in town. I'm like, take me with you, take me with you. So I
Yep. Oh,
just trying to meet people, man.
yeah, connections. It's what this world goes around. But no, we actually got a sweetheart deal on a place. Like as everyone knows, and as we've talked about before, California is so expensive for
Oh yeah.
uh, not only tax but living, and especially here in San Jose, the market is so high for housing and stuff like that. So we ended up falling into a deal here at this apartment complex, and there's like 8 other guys here as well, and we got a great 2 bedroom spot. Came unfurnished, so we got to furnish it ourselves, kind of be
Hey, I,
like,
I was gonna ask you that because this painting picture over your head, like I was like, there's no way you got that. Like, did this? I thought this place came furnished with that. Like, what is over your head?
I got this, look at that. It's
It's
the
it's like a bull for those who aren't watching on the YouTube. It's
yeah, I
tell
guess
us about this.
an audio podcast. So yeah, I got a nice bowl over my head, beautiful portrait, Target, $75 ish, give or take.
But if
It
that's US dollars, that's like 300 Canadian.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, I can't wait to come home in the summer. It's gonna feel like free money.
Dude, what a time to be getting paid in US dollars. It's awesome.
It's wild. I was just talking to my parents about it. It's silly the way the dollar is right now. We're incredibly lucky to be Canadians being paid in American. But yeah, so the place came unfurnished, and yeah, I had a storage unit from last season, so I stored like a bunch of like miscellaneous stuff, like pans, like random shit, like spices and stuff like that, and like stuff I'd be like, okay, like if I save all this, I could probably save like $1,000 total, like random. Because then you're out buying like a salt shaker. That's another $10, $10 here, like
It adds
towel,
up.
all that. Oh, yeah, it adds up real quick. So I saved it all. Ended up bringing it all here, laying it out, and then we are like, okay, we need what do we need now? We need like a couple things. So we went out and got a couch, a love seat, um, uh, table counter, like for like eating dinner and stuff, and then like air fryer, rice cooker, uh, carpet. There are a bunch of things. Anyway, the list goes on and on. Bed frame, bed, like it was a like a grind at the start of the year. Like it took us a good 2 weeks to finally be settled in. Like we were watching TV off the floor. Like we didn't have like I don't even know what you call it, a TV stand.
Oh
Not
yeah.
like like an I don't, what do you call it? A thing that holds the like a thing that your TV sits on
Yeah,
top.
like I don't even know what the word is, yeah. But I know everyone knows what you mean. Something to put the TV on.
We got a nice deal, and we grinded marketplace, so we were able to get some. We were working on our negotiating skills, just grinding people down on marketplace. Realized there's lots of bots on there too.
Oh, dude, I know it. I've been buying or I've been selling a bunch of stuff. Um, yeah.
People, yeah, hard.
Dude, it's crazy. I sold my winter tires on my old car because like I just got them, and then obviously I got that new car, and the winter tires didn't fit my car. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna sell these. They're worth like $500, and just dealing with all these bots and people trying to like probably kill me and take my $500 value tires. Like it was insane, man. Like the
It's crazy. It's
yeah.
nuts. But yeah, no. So that's what life is here. We keep it pretty simple. We have like 4 or 5 meals, four probably, that we eat, and we put them through a rotation weekly, and then eat the rest of the meals at the rink. Um, and yeah, we make do. So it's been a lot of fun. Obviously, it's pretty nice being able to live with your childhood best friend. And as everybody knows, it was a pretty wild story how he ended up here, and to now be living together here is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's sick, man. And talking about the food, so you got like a bunch of meals at the rink and stuff. And then I'm gonna be jumping back and forth, but so obviously when you get to the NHL, the food's even better. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's I don't want to sell out our chef here with the CUDA, but I mean, I think the budget's a little higher. So the meals you're getting, I wouldn't say it's cooked better or whatever because I'm out here, but yeah, the budget's definitely a little bit higher.
So it's like it's funny because Jordan Sandbrook, who's been on this podcast before, he was just up in the in Henderson, and you guys play them this weekend. He just got sent back down today.
Oh shit.
I was like, yeah, I was like, oh, you might play Cardsy, like go say hi. Um, but I was like, what's the difference in the food from like the coast to the A? Because like he's a guy who's been in the coast most of his pro career.
Yeah.
And he gets up and it's like, oh my God, the food's so good, like this and that. And it is, but then and you're coming from ECHL food, but then you have guys in the A who like go up to the NHL and they're like, how do I go back to like the AHL food? And it's just funny, like the perspective of things like when you go up and down the ranks, like where you are. It's just I find that so interesting. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with food and like pro hockey though.
Oh well, I mean, when you're in the national league, it's like it's insane, and like there's a like obviously as a lot of people know, I don't know if everyone knows, but I'll put it out there. Like a lot of guys call the AHL the always hungry league, and then the NHL is the never hungry league, and there's a reason for that. That like I like also let me tell you. So when I was up in the NHL, like I was having a hard time keeping my weight down because like I'm playing less minutes tonight because like I'm on the fourth line most of the time, and I'm eating way more because there's food everywhere. Like you get to the rink in the morning, there's shakes, there's parfaits, there's a whole buffet of breakfast ready to go, omelet station, like whatever you need. Then after practice, there's protein shakes laid out. There's a bunch of supplements. Then there's snacks. There's protein balls, like every sort of protein bar you can ask for. And then on top of that, then you got lunch. So then you have your lunch, and then you go board the plane. And as soon as you get on the plane, there's appetizers everywhere on the plane. And then once the plane takes off, then you got steak or whatever kind of food you want with a salad and
There's a
whatever.
menu, right? Like you can
Yeah,
pick.
yeah, full menu on the plane, and then you got like dessert with that too. You can ask for dessert. So then you get to the city, you get to a beautiful hotel, and then all the boys are like, "All right, dinner reservations are at 7:30, 7 o'clock." So then you go for dinner, and obviously a lot of the guys are not hurting for money, so they order pretty much every appetizer on the menu. So then all these apps are going around. You get a salad to start, and then you eat your main, and then yeah, and you're looking at it, and you're like, holy crap, I might have just ate 5 full meals today, and I only played 7 minutes last night. So I don't know how this is gonna balance. So after a few days, I had to really cut down, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should not opt for the double protein shake and the protein bar here and stuff like that. So
That's hilarious, man.
but yeah, it's crazy, and yeah, don't get me wrong, the food in with the CUDA, and the AHL is amazing, and they treat us amazing there too. But yeah, the NHL is it's a league of its own, as everyone knows.
Yeah, well, let's get into the NHL stuff now that we're talking about it. I mean, there's a lot. I'll just like fire some questions at you, I guess, and we'll see because there's so much I want to know. There's so much the listeners want to know, and like something to remember too. I mean, I'm sure there's always like new listeners that join, but a lot of listeners have been listening since like day one of this podcast and like have known you, supported you since you were like in the OHL, maybe even like not even drafted at that point. I don't even remember. Yeah,
Well,
you weren't even drafted when we started this.
we started the podcast after I didn't get drafted. Actually,
Yeah.
that was fresh off. That was fresh off not getting drafted.
And so like I remember when you were up and then when you got your first goal and stuff, seeing all the messages like on the Showbound Instagram and stuff of all these people like that are fired up. Like these guys have been rocking with this podcast for 5, 6 years. I don't even know how long, like since before you were anyone, right? And it's like it was like a win for everyone that's part of the podcast community now.
Yeah,
Like
which
what you got to do. So it's just like something cool to keep in mind, like something that I felt just like looking through the messages and stuff. Um, and while we're at, just shout out to all the listeners, especially the ones right now listening to us because we're back. So you got called up twice, right?
yeah, two stints so far.
Okay. So the first one, how did you find out you were going up? Like when did you find out? Did you have any type of clue, like any of that?
Well, it's weird, and I've talked to a few people about this. And so like I got the call randomly one night. I guess yeah, I'll get into the call that I got originally. So I was the Kings were in town, so I texted Clarky and I were in contact, and I went out for dinner with him and Akil Thomas.
Yeah.
So Clarky, me, and Killer are out for dinner, just down from my house, literally 5 minute walk from where I live. And I'm like, yeah, like great, like we'll go for dinner. And the Sharks were on the road in Utah, and they were playing, and whatever. We were just at dinner and just keeping up. I'm keeping up with the game and stuff like that because JT was up at the time, so I'm just keeping up with it and checking in and stuff. And I had a good feeling that I might be getting called up soon because I played well the weekend before, and Greersy was in the building, and we had like a nice interaction after the game. So I'd felt good about the way things have been going, and I had an amazing camp. I felt great about my camp, so I felt like I was in good standing. And I'm sitting there with the guys, and I don't remember what happened in the game, but there was like an alert that said like either somebody had left the game or somebody had got ejected or something like that, and we all laughed at the table that we were like, we'll be playing each other tomorrow. It'll be your first game, huh? And so we finish up dinner and we're just chilling there. And probably 15 minutes after we've wrapped up dinner, we're just hanging out and stuff. And I get a call from John McCarthy, my head coach with the CUDA, and I showed the guys, and I'm like, looks like we're playing against each other tomorrow.
Oh, you called it before. Imagine he's like, we're sending you down.
Oh, that would have been insane. That would have been insane. But I was like, there's no way he's calling me at like, because it was like 8:30 or 9 at this time. I'm like, there's no way he's calling me at this time for anything else. And sure enough, yeah, he gave me the call, and then I got a call from a few other people informing me on how it would work and stuff. And then the biggest disaster was trying to get my parents, because obviously the 3 hour time change. By the time I was done with my phone calls, it was probably like 12:30 Eastern. So they're sleeping, right? And my
Yeah.
grandpa's sleeping. And the only person that I knew would have been up, my brother, obviously he's at college, so he's living a bit of a greasier lifestyle. Maybe he's up later and stuff like that. But my one of my grandfathers loves staying up, and he logs hours watching TV at night. So I'm like, if there's one person back home I know I can get a hold of, it's him. So I called him, and sure enough, he answered. And I'm like, look, I gotta go full, like I gotta get ready for this game. Like I don't know how we're gonna get everybody here in time for tomorrow, but I need to go to bed, so it's on you. Figure it out. And then within a couple hours, I guess my mom or my dad woke up in the night and saw the texts. And from there, they just woke up and went to the airport, and everybody made it here. And yeah, the first game itself was incredible. It was like a dream come true, as it was everything I dreamed of, obviously, and it was pretty cool to be able to do it in San Jose. Um, and yeah, against the Kings, it was awesome, and we won that game, and got my rookie lap with no helmet around, like wheeling around the like you feel like yeah, it's like you're going through so many emotions, and to know that your parents made it 5 hour flight across the country to be able to be there along with my grandparents and my billet family in Barrie and my brother and family friends from back home, who neighbors and such, and such a cool experience. And yeah, everybody was able to stay for the week to be able to watch all the games and stuff. So it was awesome. And yeah, definitely something I'm not going to forget for a long time.
Yeah, I have so many follow-up questions from that. I guess the first one, since we like to talk money on here, it's in your contract that the San Jose Sharks will pay $5,000 to fly your parents out. And it's not just card. That's like a standard thing, by the way. So I'm not just like um getting into the details of your contract. It's like a standard entry level contract clause. But
Yeah,
did that happen? Like, did they fly like pay for it?
yeah, they took care of everything. So my parents got to fly out here, got them here same day. Like they were, it was so crazy. Like so, I had like whatever went to bed. Like I'm trying to get some sleep, trying to focus on the game, and next thing you know, I wake up and me and JT are going to morning ice for morning ski, and they're like, "Yeah, we just landed." I'm like, "What? You're already here?" So yeah, they made things move quick. We got like one of the one of the best. Like I don't even know what Rosemary's title is, but Rosemary,
She
the
is awesome. I work with her all the time.
she's great. She might as well call her the president of the organization. It's like it's wild. She's awesome. So she took care of everything for my parents and set them up at the hotel downtown and like got everything dialed up. So made everything smooth for them, and it was yeah, it was great. So yeah, they did take care of all that.
That's so NHL, man. I mean, it literally is. Um, so okay, let's get into the day. You go to morning skate. I'm curious, like, what's it like? It's the guys, like you were with them not that long ago at camp and stuff, and obviously like you share facilities and stuff. But you come in, like, is everybody like fired up for you? Or, like everyone dapping you up and stuff? Or like, what's the vibe? Like, what do how's that
Yeah, like I mean, they were coming off a back to back, so the boys were tired coming
on the
into.
road too, right?
Yeah, they were on the road, so I don't know. Um, I think it might have been optional. I think there
I
might
would
have.
guess it was if they got in late and stuff. Like,
I'd assume. I can't remember now. Either there was no morning skate or it was optional. I want to say that there was. I That's so bad that I've already forgotten. But no, like the guys themselves are awesome, and like you said, I was just there. It was like 3 weeks earlier that I was at camp with them and everything, going through the whole preseason. So yes, had such a good bond with a lot of the guys and made such good relationships that it was like no time had passed when I had gotten called up. It was just like boom, I'm back here. Like okay, just plop in, and it's life as normal.
okay, so then like getting into like doing your off ice warm up and then on ice warm up, like stuff before the game, are you doing your normal thing or like do you have to change it up just because like other guys are doing other things or like what's that like?
The off ice warm up and stuff, and this is crazy, and I like I wasn't nervous at all. Like going to the game,
I'm not surprised, man. Like I think back to your quote when you got drafted by Dave Drinkle in Saginaw and you're like, I was born for this. Like
like yeah, like I felt like the way I performed at camp and my preseason, I'd felt like I belonged there. And I knew my capabilities were good enough to play at that level. So I think there was like a calming side in me that was like, you know what, you're meant to be here. There's no reason for you to be nervous. Don't go out there and just let the moment be too big for you. Go out there and like seize the opportunity, like just play hockey, because at the end of the day, there's 20 other guys on the other team and they're just hockey players at the same time. Meanwhile, like they might be Anze Kopitar, but they're still a hockey player. So that was kind of the mindset I went in with, and I never really got nervous until about like till my first shift, maybe a little bit of nerves
like when
throughout.
the coach calls your line, like and you're waiting for that change, like what's going through your head there? Like I know
Yeah,
you gotta be shitting yourself a bit.
that's when I think I was the first sense of nervous that I felt. Like I didn't feel it at national anthems or during the warm ups or anything like that. It was, I think it was once he said, I think I was playing with Sturmy that night, and he said Sturmy's line's going, and I'm like, oh, all right, here we go. It's like buckle up,
Do you
like
know who your guy is that you're taking, or are you just like, are you calling it out, or like what's happening
yeah,
there?
yeah, quick call out, like look over to the boys, like, hey, let's go here, eh? Give them a quick like side bump, like, and they're trying to get me going, like get me into it. Everyone's excited for me and stuff like that. So the guys made it super easy on me too, like helping me out throughout it all and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely got a little nervous then, and then once you get your feet wet, it's just any other hockey game, just in a bigger barn with a lot more people watching.
Yeah, dude, so sick, so
Yeah, it
sick.
was
And
great.
then how well, so yeah, you guys won that game. And obviously you played well enough to stay up for a bit. And then there your second you I think you were just at home for that call up. Then your second call up, you end up on the road for the first time. Like you go to Seattle, I think.
Yeah,
And so what was that experience like first time being on the road?
dude, it was. I'll get into this. This is insane. I went on a 28-day road trip. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I think it was like 27, 28 days in total. So it's it's Thanksgiving. I had just played in Toronto against the Marlies, and we flew home, and then it was the day before Thanksgiving, and I went golfing with a couple guys locally here. So I went golfing, whatever, went out for dinner afterwards. And I'm out and I get a phone call. Hey, we need you up tomorrow to practice tomorrow, Thanksgiving. And then you're going to play the day after a back to back and then go to Seattle. So I'm like, okay, sweet. This is great. Super excited again. And then, yeah, I get to practice the next morning. Whatever, it's American Thanksgiving. Get through practice, and then the Toffoli's hosted us for a great Thanksgiving dinner. So went over there with all the guys. Had a stellar meal there. A lot of laughs, some fun, and then we played the next day, and that was the day that I got my first goal. So I'm ecstatic. Obviously, we win. Um, and
It was a
then
big goal too. It kind of like sealed the
yeah,
game.
it kind of, I think we won that game 8-5, I think, and my goal was the seventh, so it's kind
Yeah.
of put the game on ice with like 10 minutes left or so yeah, I was super pumped. And then as soon as the game ended, I was like, under, I didn't know like if I would have been going on the road trip, but I knew there was a 15-day road trip coming up. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna pack for it and see what happens. And sure enough, yep, get on the plane, whatever. So yeah, let me kind of get into the details of this road trip because you're gonna lose it when you hear all this. So I'm just gonna breeze through it quick, and then if you want to know anything about it specifically, go.
Okay.
But so we go to Seattle, play in Seattle. From Seattle, we fly to Washington. We get into Washington, day off, play. From Washington, we go to Tampa Bay. A couple days in Tampa. From Tampa Bay, Fort Lauderdale, play the Panthers. Couple days in Florida. Ended up we had rookie party there and rookie dinner.
And
Um,
we'll get into that after too.
Unreal. From Florida, fly to North Carolina, play the Hurricanes, and then that's when I found out I was going down. They were a couple guys were coming back healthy. Trade happened, so that I was going down. So I flew with the team from Carolina. Both JT and I were going down at this time. So we fly to St. Louis. We're in St. Louis. The team's playing St. Louis that night before they go home. So the 15 days are over for them. Perfect. Boom. We got 12 more days on the road with the AHL team right before Christmas, mind you. So we go from St. Louis. We fly to Denver, connect in Denver, fly from Denver to Palm Springs. We play in Palm Springs. I want to say we fly or we bus to San Diego. We go to San Diego. Then I think we go to Bakersfield and then maybe back to Ontario, California. and then fly back to San Jose after this whole like 10-day road trip thing. Insane. I think it was 11 days total. So then we fly back into San Jose, and I'm like, everyone's asking me back home, are you coming home for Christmas? What are you doing? I'm like, there's no way I'm coming home for Christmas. I was just on the road for however many days, a whole month basically. So our apartment sat here. We're paying rent for a place we're not even at. So anyway, we end up getting home, and we do Christmas here, just him and I, just hang out, whatever. Little anticlimactic. Went to buddy's house for some drinks on Christmas Day and stuff like that, which was great. And then, wouldn't you know it, 27th comes around. We're back on a plane. We go to Vegas, and then we fly from Vegas to San Diego, and then we're in San Diego, and then we finally come home. So it was like I was on the road, I think, from from American Thanksgiving, which felt like almost through to like January 3rd. So
Yeah,
it
that's
was
a grind.
so yeah, we went through it all, and I was scratched for a few of the games up top, and played in a few games on the road too, which was awesome.
But every game you're up, even if you're scratched, you're getting pension credits. You know that, right?
I know you guys should be keeping track of that for me.
Yeah, we are. Every year we'll review it. We'll tell you where you're at. But that's good, man. Get started with that and get a good month of show pay in. But let's talk about rookie party in Florida. So like how was it? Like how much was the bill at dinner? Like what did you guys do? All that.
I got super lucky. The boys they're very understanding. They get it. They understand that um, if you're an up and down guy, you're not making millions. You're not a millionaire that people think you might be, and stuff like that. And they understand that California is tough to get by and take a lot home at the end of the year. So they gave me the pass this year. To I had to participate in the like I participated, but just telling jokes and stuff. But I didn't have to pay, so that was kind of nice. So I got to eat quite well and be treated quite well, for a guy who didn't put it forth any money for it. But I'm hoping I get dinged next year. Obviously, I want to be up there full time, so I'm looking forward to getting dinged next year. I'm sure it'll be a quite steep bill, but that's one that you look forward to paying. And it's part of your dues, and it's a great tradition that goes on. And yeah, we had an unbelievable dinner. We stayed at the Four Seasons on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, and it was unbelievable, man. Like staying in those type of hotels, and just across the road is the beach, like having the beach there. um Boys went out on a boat, like just awesome, like just so many different like fun activities that we did over the course of that trip made it like being called up to the NHL is one thing, but being able to live this lifestyle and like experience these such cool life experiences that I'll like have forever now, made it all that much more fun. And just the guys themselves, how including they are of me, like to have me there and stuff. Like it'd be easy for them to brush me off, like as a guy who's just getting started and stuff like that. But like no, like bring me in with open arms, include me in everything, and make me feel like a part of the team, to the fullest. So it was awesome. We had a stellar dinner, unbelievable bottles of wine, and lots of funny stories and jokes came up. Um, and yeah, I don't want to get too much into it, but it was a hell of a time.
Yeah, so obviously you kind of had your like off ice welcome to the league moment, like that whole road trip sounds like that's what it was. Did you have any on the ice welcome to the league moments? Like did you get rocked or was it like your rookie lap or anything like that?
Yeah, I think the biggest one for me was like obviously you're pretty comfortable playing at home. There's a sort of a comfort level of driving because I'm just driving from my apartment here. Like it's what I know. Like I know the roads in San Jose. I know the SAP Center. So like very comfortable being there. And even I think that it was a bit of a whirlwind. I was still riding a high when I played in Seattle again, for my first goal and stuff. But I think the real welcome to the league moment was playing the reigning Cup champs in Florida, and I was fortunate enough to be playing on the second line that night with Granlund as my center, and as everyone knows, and whoever watched the Four Nations who didn't know, he's a hell of a hockey player, and it made it a lot easier on me that night. Or else I think it might have even been a tougher night than it already was for us. I think we gave up 50 shots that night, um, and we lost 3-1. And Blackwood stood on his head, but like just being there, being in that atmosphere, feeling them just come in waves at you. You got Kachuk, you got Barkov. I don't know, like the list goes on. Reinhardt, Bennett, like all these guys, and they're just coming shift after shift after shift, and you're like, holy cow, when's it ever going to stop? Like when are we going to get a break here? And it just doesn't. And it's they're so relentless, and it shows why obviously they won the cup last year is because they do what they do, and that's how they play. And it was pretty cool to see Kachuk play up close, and you hear so much about him and his tenacity and the way he plays. And I think he had two that night, and obviously not happy that he did, by any means, but it's that type of respect that you say, wow, like you see it on TV, but to see it in real life is a different thing. And I think the biggest one, even more than that, we had a road game in Vegas for the preseason, and Vegas had dressed their whole lineup basically like what their team was going to be this year, and to see Jack Eichel up close and how big he is and how hard he plays and like how smooth his stride is, that was when I was like, holy shit. That's what a peak NHLer looks like. That's what I'm striving to be like, you know?
Yeah, no, that's sick, man. And then I had another question, and then I got so dialed into your answer that I forgot what it was. Um, but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was wondering like, did you ever like did you even open your mouth like and say one thing to another guy? Like, are you chirping at all, or are you just like because how could you even when you're like it's your first few games? I'm just curious if you said anything.
I'll be honest, like the NHL has so much less chirping than the minors do. It's insane. Like in the minors, I feel like there's a scrum after every whistle, and guys punching each other in the face and jawing at each other to the benches and stuff. And I went up to the NHL, and I'm playing a fourth line energy role, right? So like I'm like whatever has to be done, I got to do. So I'm like if that's what I need to do, then that's so I was ready for whatever. I didn't know what to expect, but yeah, no, I think there's such mutual respect at that level that the guys don't even bother jawing at each other as much as you would think. So no, I didn't really get into it with anyone. The only one I got a nice heater of a slash on the back of the leg from Bedard.
Yeah,
Uh,
this was going like viral on Twitter.
yeah, him and I were going at it a little bit, and I skate with him in the. So I was like, what the hell's going on here? But obviously he was frustrated in the game and stuff. So him and I got into it a little bit. But yeah, that one didn't feel great. So I guess that would be like the only time I was really chirping anyone.
That's almost like a welcome to the league in itself. Like you get slashed by Bedard, and now you're mixing it up. All of a sudden, I'm checking Twitter and I see like people are like, "Who's this plug trying to fight Bedard? Like make a name for himself?" Like,
I would be public enemy number one in Chicago if I tried to do that.
oh my God, it was funny, man. But yeah, well, that's sick. We've probably talked like 30 minutes about this, and I can keep going, but I mean, we'll move on. But I mean, well, I guess just one kind of last one because we glossed over it a little bit. But the first goal, can we dive into it a little bit? Like, tell us about how it all kind of went down for you. It was like basically what almost a breakaway, was it? Or
It was like a partial break. Like I was just slashing across off the right wing, and was fortunate enough to get a nice chip off the wall, and it kind of I skated right onto the puck, and there was a D kind of like angling me off from the far side. So I knew like I was either gonna take a shot from a little bit of distance, or I was gonna try to like bear down and take it to the net. And I'm like, okay, well, this is an NHL defender. Like he's probably gonna have a good stick if I try to take this to the net, and um, we're up 1 goal. Like I don't want to make a bad turnover and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I have a pretty decent shot. So I let one go on net, and yeah, it tipped the top of the goalie's glove and found a way into the back of the net. And I hadn't realized it at first. I'm like kind of like like following up my rebound, and then I was like, "Holy shit!" The goalie looks behind him. I'm like, "Okay, looks like it went in." And then I went nuts, dude. Like full jump into the glass. Like I was so excited, and to see the guys coming into the huddle and the guys on the bench like being just as excited or more excited than I was for me. That was probably the coolest moment.
Yeah, and you got the sickest pick of all time out of it too. That one of you floating on the glass. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
unreal.
Have you posted that yet?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I'll save it up for the end of the year. I'm not too active on the socials. I need to maybe post some more.
That's got to see the light of day on the Instagram.
100%.
Yeah, but no, that's so nasty, man. Like honestly, it was I remember seeing it happen. We were on the road, I think, with Lori. I think we were in Kingston. And there's a ton of guys on our team, as you know, that know you and are friends with you and stuff.
Right.
And we were asleep, I guess, because it was on the West Coast, like by the time it happened. Right? Was it
I don't know. It was midday. Our game was at noon. So maybe
okay, so then maybe it must have been were at our game and we didn't see your game until after we're checking the score and like people are like, "Oh, Cardsy scored," and I'm like looking at it and everyone's going bananas like it was, and then I saw it and the goalie like pawed at your shot almost. It was like I don't want to like discount your goal, like you scored in the NHL, but I was like I thought he should have saved that.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and then it was like I don't know, we were all just going bananas honestly. Like it's kind of getting me fired up just thinking about it.
Yeah, that was so cool just to think about it and to think about like, all the support and like the amount of people that texted me and stuff like that. It was that's the part that makes it so much better. Like to score for yourself is nice, but to see the joy of everyone else too, like that's what makes it 10 times better. But I mean, we could go talking about this for days and stuff, but I want to pick your mind a little bit about the Four Nations and kind of obviously that was a huge success for hockey as a whole and everything like that. Like it was a hell of a tournament. Like what are your overall thoughts since I've been doing so much talking? I'm losing my voice.
I know you've been talking a lot. Honestly, I mean, like everyone's kind of saying it was what the game needed for one. Like, not only is it gonna grow the game and it's good for the game, but dude, like to not have best on best hockey for like almost 10 years is insane. Like seeing that first game and seeing how fast it was and seeing every single name in that tournament is a household name. Like just to see all those guys on the ice, it was it was absolutely crazy. Like honestly, it was just so cool. And the McDavid goal to win it in overtime, the golden goal, I guess almost. And obviously like we grew up and we saw the Crosby golden goal. Like everyone kind of our age remembers that goal. And the younger people now on the come up, that is their golden goal right now. Like to see that and like create all those new fans and memories for life. Like people say like where were you when Crosby scored that goal? Like I remember it so clearly. Like it was the biggest thing that happened in Canada. And for Canada to win and like not to get political, but in all the political drama that kind of surrounded the game, it was a cool moment for Canada.
For sure. It was yeah, it was wild. And going back to that, like I was 2010, I would have been I was 7 years old. I hadn't turned 8 yet because the Olympics were in whatever February or something. And I'm 7 years old, and I can exactly remember we streamed the game. I was on the way home from a tournament in St. Thomas, like London area, driving home to Curtis, and the stream was cutting out. So we stopped at a restaurant at the Keg, and we just walked in, got an appetizer just because we just wanted to see it. And sure enough, that was the golden goal. And it's such a vivid memory in your mind, and to see McDavid Barry from the exact almost like very similar, both left-handed shots. If he had to win 5 hole, it would have been insane. But
Yeah.
him to put it up under the bar from the same area, it's storybook, and it goes back to passing the torch. Obviously, Crosby was the next greatest thing at that time, and he already was proving that he was. And McDavid's been around for 10 years now in the league, 9 years, and it was his first chance to kind of be that guy, and he did it to the fullest, you know? Like,
Yeah.
no better time for a big time player to show up, and no better guy to get the goal than him.
Totally. And like what a setup for what the Olympics is going to be too. Like it is going to be like must see TV and like even just knowing, I mean there was like in Canada and USA like 16 or 17 million people watch that gold medal game. Like imagine going into a game and what's cool is like one day you might play in a game like this where like hey, there's going to be like 10 million people watching you tonight. Like isn't that crazy?
It is wild to think about, but I think as a player too, it's not even like a nerve-wracking thing. It's just so exciting. You know how good you are, and actually, it goes back to the point where like we always talk about like playing hockey the right way and stuff like that. And you saw like there was so much skill on the ice in that tournament, and you just see these guys dumping it in. Like these guys are nasty players in the regular season, like toe dragging, like whatever backhand sauce, and they were like just everyone was just so scared to make that mistake that they all played like the most fine game that they possibly could to not let the other team score until maybe overtime. It opened up a little bit in overtime. But that finals game was insane. What do you think? But here's the other thing I want to go to as well. Like the Olympics, there's not going to be fighting, so we're not going to get the first Canada U.S. game that we saw. What were your thoughts on that game?
On the Canada, I mean, it was crazy, and honestly, like no one expected that. So to
No,
have those three fights in the first 9 seconds, like it, well, that kind of made the tournament what it was. Like it was sick for sure, but then when that game happened, it turned the page. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is like as real as it gets." Like people were, everybody was talking about that. And we had a game that night. I was so pissed. It was our last game of the season, I think, and we were already eliminated. And we all wanted to just watch that game, and I couldn't even watch it.
you calling the U Sports? Hey, we're just going to pack it in here. Hey, we got to watch the finals. We're done tonight.
So it was funny. I was in we were playing Windsor and I'm in the press box video coaching. Although I got to be up and down on the bench this year between the bench and the press box, which was fun. But the Windsor video coach is beside me and they're on the road and like in U Sports, like not everyone can come on the road depending on certain teams like budgets and stuff with hotels and food. So they had like a scratch doing the camera for them. And he's sitting there like he's got his phone out and he's got the Canada USA game on. And me and the Windsor video coach, like we're sitting there like watching our game, but this guy on Windsor's like got the game, and we're sitting there, we're both watching the Canada USA game while our game's going on, and like we're just missing everything. It was just so funny.
That that sucks though. There's nothing worse than having a game that means nothing and then like having, but it's like it's taking all your energy and like focus away from something you actually want to be doing. Like,
Yeah.
dude, we were on the road in Bakersfield that night, and Bakersfield has TVs in their locker room. We had it going on until puck drop, literally, and we're like guys are playing sewer and stuff before the games. Not that night. Nobody was playing sewer. Guys are normally doing like their dynamic warm-ups. Nope, not that night. Everyone was just foam rolling watching the TV. We won the game, so it worked out and everything, or I wouldn't be saying this. But it was wild to see that whole thing transpire. And like you said, it did make the tournament. Like it was cool and all. Like it was cool to have best on best, but it almost felt like an exhibition and stuff like that. It felt like, oh, what is this going to be? Is it a glorified skills competition, or are these guys going to go balls to the wall? And to see those guys lay it all on their line for their countries and how much it meant to each country, each and every one of those games, I think it gave the tournament so much more momentum, and the game of hockey so much more momentum.
Yeah, it was nasty, man. It was really well done. Now some personal stuff. We got to talk about my golf game a little bit. I got new clubs.
What kind?
So I went and got fitted for them. So I spent like an hour and a half kind of getting fitted. I tried basically every set of irons and stuff. And what we ended up fitting me for was the Ping G730s. You know those?
Yeah, that's sick.
Um,
I love ping irons.
yeah, they were pretty expensive and they're
Yeah,
forgiving. But they look nice. So it's like one of the most forgiving clubs that doesn't look
chunk.
bad. Like it looks nice.
Yeah,
Um, And so I got them in like December and I've just been hitting the simulator like once a week, like just working on that. I'm spending like 30 minutes just like hitting the driver, like trying to fix that, and then I'm playing like a course.
yeah.
Um and like with my buddies and stuff, and my game's been getting good. But it's the sim, so it's like I don't know what it exactly translates to, but it's I'm feeling good out there.
You're trending in the right direction, but wait till you see water on your right and OB on your left, and then you're shitting down your leg.
Yeah, I know. Like so there's definitely that's gonna play into it. But right now, like I've figured out some things. I've changed a couple parts of my swing that I've found some like success with. And I think it's gonna be a good summer for me. I think I can come close to breaking 90 regularly. That's kind of the goal.
That's a good goal to have. And I think like that's a more realistic goal than a lot of people would give. Like I hate when people say like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to hit the 70s this year." All the time. It's like, "No, you're not." Like be legit, and I like the way that you started to go where you're like an honest game rather than you know what I'm gonna like I'm gonna help myself out and like I'm gonna say I was in the 90s but like you started like in the hundreds like consistently and then you were like you know what then and you and when you were like when you were first starting the game you everyone bends the rules and stuff and then once you went back to like playing the real rules then your strokes went up again and that's the like that feeling is so much better like breaking these scores knowing you're doing it like with honesty rather than just being like you know I'm gonna fluff this lie up I'm not gonna count that one and stuff like that so I think if you can start shooting in the 80s consistently, that'd be a hell of a deal. And I mean, we got to get Nobes to take us out to St. G's this year.
Yeah, we do.
Test our game.
We've been talking. He's playing at Hilton Head on Monday. Um,
Hey,
what?
life's good. Hey,
Yeah, and then he played some nice course in Mexico last week. I don't even remember what it's called, but a big one.
but
I think there's a live event there. Um,
maybe Mayakoba.
yeah, that sounds right. And yeah, he's got this like one of those mesh nets in the backyard, and he's just ripping them into the net at home, like in the backyard. Um, but no, he's a sick golfer. So yeah, I told him to take me out this year, but um, we'll see. That I honestly like, and I've had a ton of like friends and like a lot of clients ask like when are we gonna go golfing and stuff this summer, and I'm almost like too nervous to golf with them because I'm just not good enough. Like, and it's I don't know.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
you're at the point now where you're a good enough social player. Like there's like a point where it's like embarrassing, and then like there's another side of it where it's like you know, you play good enough golf to where you can carry a conversation, and it's not like holy shit, we're looking for Raskin's ball on every hole.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I'm at
I,
least keeping my ball in play now.
I can't go out with this guy because I'm in the fescue just getting ticks on my leg because I'm looking for this guy's ball every hole.
But where it gets bad for me is like when we're playing from the golds or the blacks or whatever. Like I like to play from the whites, man. And everyone's like, "Oh, you can't play from the whites." It's like that's when I start to struggle because like now I'm hitting it to the ladies' tees, and then I start the hole.
But that's the thing, and people like, and this is like a tale as old as time. As like, people always play a tee that they shouldn't be playing. Like, if you're 20, like if you're above a 20 handicap, you should be playing the senior tees or the white tees or whatever. And then once you start start shooting 85 consistently from those tees, and then move back, like because you'd rather have fun. Like you're out there to have fun. You're not out there to punish yourself. And too many of us, including myself, the odd time we go out there and we just get mad all the time at ourselves. And it's like
Yeah.
if your game isn't to that level, just play a tee that you can compete at and you can realistically go out there and shoot a score that you want to because like if you go out there and say oh I'm going to break 90 from the back tee it's like no I'm not and I'm just setting myself up for failure.
Yeah, so my that's exactly right. My last three rounds of the year, except for one, I'm not counting one because it was really bad. My last three rounds minus one. uh from the white tees where I played were 89, 89, 90.
Yeah,
Um
great.
and and that was like when I was at my happiest, like having the most fun. Like I'm just like I'm hitting good shots, like whatever. My driver's going like 250 after the roll. Like I'm probably carrying it like 230, which isn't great, I was hitting it and that was an improvement. So it's like and that's why I want to play from the whites because I'm only driving it like 230, 240.
Right. And then from there you have like a 7 iron or 8 iron or 9 iron. You don't have another tee up driver to go home. Like
Yeah.
you're hitting at 250 and you're playing the blacks. It's like, okay, I hit driver, now I got to tee up another driver, then I got a wedge in. It's like, oh great, here we go.
Yeah. And that's where it gets tricky. But basically with the confidence of my new clubs and the forgiveness and just the work I'm putting in, I think it's gonna be a good summer for me. And I've been loving it, man. Like the time in the sim with the boys, like it's been a fun golf off season for me. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you're swinging them throughout the off season, getting your game all dialed up and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that's good to hear. And the clubs are going to make a big difference too. I think they are. Once you got the right materials, it makes a big difference in the game of golf for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, we can kind of start to wrap it up. A couple things, fan questions to
yeah, and then call it. I know it's late for you, and I haven't had dinner yet, so I should.
yeah. All right, let's get into some fan questions here and then we can wrap it up. So what does Cardsy do in his free time?
Uh, so much TV shows, it's sickening.
What are you
Um,
watching?
I watched Reacher. I watched Entourage. I've watched Full Swing recently. I watched Below Deck Mediterranean, um, which is a wild one. Um, Lots of shows anyway, and golf. So it's that and golf. I like to go to the movies on Tuesdays because it's cheap. Um, and I try to cook some new recipes if I get really bored. But I got
Yeah.
JT here at the time, so we can normally get by the days with doing some activities and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Um, have you seen any weird pregame superstitions slash rituals this year? That was the question. Now I want to add
You go.
Askarov. Oh, I want to add Askarov. Like this guy seems like a freak. Like, is he doing something weird before a game? And he's a goalie.
No, dude, he's normal.
He's so sick.
He's dirty. He's normal too. Let's
Wow.
get him on.
Okay, yeah.
Let's get Askey on.
Let's
Askey,
get him on, dude.
he'll come on in a heartbeat, I bet. And his English is good. Um,
Okay, nice. I want to ask him about his neck tattoo.
yeah, he's a legend. Um, he's not that weird. He's very normal for a goalie. Like a lot more normal than you'd expect. Weird superstitions. Do you have any? Did you see anything crazy this year?
I don't think they were crazy, but there was like I encountered a few like people that were more focused than kind of normal. Like, like some people are a little loose with it, some are focused, and then I saw like real focus, like get mad if you like are in their way type of focus.
That's
Um, yeah, so I saw that. Actually, it's funny because I've asked a lot of like people this now that I'm getting to know more people in the NHL and stuff, and it's so weird. I find most guys, and I'm actually curious about you seeing like what you've seen. I find most guys in the NHL are more chill with all that stuff because it's their job and they do it every day. But then there's a few guys where it's like it's a game day, like they're out of commission, like you can't talk to them, wife can't talk to them, like it's a game day. Like there's a few that are like that way. So it's like I guess it goes both ways, but I find the higher level more people kind of drop that stuff.
well, and too, like we're on the road all the time, so it's like it's kind of hard to keep every single superstition, right? Like, and the more superstitions you have, the harder you're making it on yourself mentally. Like, then you're in your head, like, oh, I didn't get that done. I'm gonna have a bad game, and it's like, well, no. So just like the less kind of things that you can do to be superstitious, I think that helps you better, and I think that's why you see it less at this level because you can't get everything perfectly done on the road that you could do at home, and even at home sometimes it's hard. So yeah, I don't know, like there's definitely stuff that I've come across, but that's something I'd have to really think about. You know what, I'll keep an eye on that now.
Yeah.
Now I'll start to look for it and see what happens.
Okay. What about this one's me throwing this one in there, and then there's like two more good fan questions I'll ask. But have you seen any good or pulled any good pranks this year?
Pranks have been on a there hasn't been a ton of pranks. Good pranks. Been you we've used the label maker a bit to put like, but like, so obviously you go to a hockey school as a kid sometimes, and they put your name on the top of your helmet so the instructors can call you by first name. So we put the first name on some guys' helmets and stick it on. They don't realize they're skating around with it, and maybe some other things on their helmet as well, but we won't talk about that. That's a good one. Other than that, I think I've seen water in guys' sticks. That's kind of just annoying though, because like the guy realizes it right away, and it's like, okay, well, this stick's ruined. I can't use this anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
What
Again,
sticks are you using nowadays?
the CCM FT7,
Okay.
but I'm looking to get into my Trues soon. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, once I like, if I go back up, then I'll use True.
What are your specs now? We used to always ask guys stick specs. What do
Yeah,
you
spec same as always. 80 flex, P90 curve, nothing else. Like I don't care. It's on me. If the puck's not going in the net, it's on me. It's not the stick. So I've used the same thing since I was like 15.
That's good that you're still rocking with it. This one was an interesting one. If you had to pick a teammate to take a penalty shot for your life, who would it be?
Current?
Let's go current and then like whoever you're thinking of, non-current.
Well, I don't even know if I was thinking non-current. I know current. It's Gushin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The guy's filthy on shootouts. I don't think I've ever seen a miss, honestly. Like maybe one miss. Like I've seen him like bury like six times. Like even today we were doing it in practice. The guy's automatic. So Daniil Gushin, he's dirty at shootouts. Um, all time, probably him too. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty sick.
Yeah, he's silky.
Um, let's pick one more here. How about okay, what sort of rookie duties are there in like the AHL and the NHL? Like, are they the same? Are they different at that level? Like,
I mean, in the NHL, like there's not really much pick up pucks after practice. That'd be it probably. It's like it's kind of crazy. Like obviously you're not being a clown and running your mouth and acting like a vet in the locker room and stuff like that. But there's no like real like rookie duties necessarily. Like everyone gets treated the same. And in the AHL, it's like, yeah, pick up pucks. Maybe the rookies get fined a little bit more than older guys. Cleaning up the bus on road trips. Making sure, well, we don't go on road trips that often, so they don't have to do it a ton, which is nice. Or bringing movies. It's not a duty, but the veterans like it, so it's a
yeah.
get in the vet's good books. Um, Other than that, there's not a ton either. Maybe it's not a duty, but you get targeted a lot in sewer in both leagues. If you're a young guy, there's not you don't have much life in the two touch circle. So guys come at you pretty quick because you're an easy target, and then
Yeah.
once their old boys club going for the rest of the game.
Is it the same in the NHL like it is in every other level where like the leaders, the vets, like they're not getting out even if they're out. Like it's someone else's it hits someone else or whatever it is.
There's been a lot of controversy in the AHL lately with this. I'm not gonna name names, Scott Sabrin, but guys, a lot of guys won't want to go out when they get hit. I'm part of the problem too, though. I fight it as well, but it's Colin White bad as well. But yeah, a couple of these guys, man, like a little greasy when it comes to the outs. Like I got to put myself on that list too because I do it because they do it, and I get mad about it. And I'm like, no, you're not going out. I'm not going out either.
Well,
So then
that's the thing. When someone's doing it, it like it's like opens the can of worms or
oh,
whatever.
brutal. Like our team's so toxic for sewer right now. It's bad. Like we've had a couple meetings about it. Like, hey, we gotta like reel this in. But and then surprisingly enough, at the NHL level, a lot of the guys were kind of understanding and stuff. I don't know if that's just the Sharks. Um, but yeah, no, the older guys did go out there and they weren't calling battles on me and stuff like that. So I did respect that. So you know what? Yeah, like our team's got to figure it out with the Cuda. Like anyway, like it's embarrassing.
Who's the best sewer player on the CUDA?
Lucas Carlson, uh,
Okay.
the Swede, um, good goal scorer, defenseman, good dude,
Hmm. Interesting.
good sewer player.
Well, I mean, that's kind of all I got. I think we've been going for a while. I think it's been a good catch up. We'll kind of keep buzzing and getting episodes out when we can. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's fun. It's fun to be back on. Anything you want to say to wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't even like really feel like an episode necessarily. Like it was just kind of like we were catching up. But I'm glad that the fans kind of got the vibe of well, what's going on. Obviously, you're working. You got a new whip, big money, Mike Raskin. They're calling you. Uh,
Well, everyone was roasting me about spending too much money because like it's what we do. We like budget guys basically for a living. And
right.
in 1 month, I got like a new phone, new car, new golf clubs, all those new shirts, like new wardrobe basically. What else did I buy? Like, oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of, got the first bonus, first
That
real bonus. So,
you're swimming in it.
but it was also they were all needs. Like my phone was like 6 years old. My car was starting to go. Like the golf clubs wasn't really a need, but I like to think it was a need.
When it's time, it's time. You got to yourself. I like it. I like it. But
Yeah.
no, great to catch up with you. And obviously, we're gonna do our best to get episodes out here regularly, so it's not like this again. Little bit ridiculous on my part. I gotta own that, and I gotta be better. Accountability for your actions and be better. So that's what we're
For
looking
sure.
for here. And if you did listen to this episode, it means you're a true fan. And if you're new to the podcast, then we're gonna try to get more out for you. And yeah, stay tuned because we got a lot of good things coming.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Peace.